Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspection. Today is June 30th, 2026, and we're doing a sewer scope today here in Riverton. We're at 2027 West, 11970 South. We have the camera pushed out basically 100 feet, and I always say 100 feet is the average that I see, and you're basically right on the money. So pretty average length of a line. That's the city line that you're seeing on the screen now. And this first connection point is called the nose on. That's where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. Looks like gravel cement. Gravel cement gets a little rough. You can see that little aggregate of all the little rocks. That's common. But you want it, when you have gravel cement of any sort, of any length, you want to avoid wet wipes. Those can build up and create a blockage. And it looks like you quickly transition to PVC, which is plastic. A little bit of standing water, a little bit of buildup, a little more buildup there. So far, well, I spoke too soon. Now we're going underwater, and so that makes it certainly more concerning. So this line has a little bit of a belly where it's holding water and waste. I noticed as I pushed the camera out, I was pushing through a lot of buildup and waste. The only way to fix bad grade is to dig it up and re-slope it. And it's hard to predict what bellies will cause an issue or not. See a lot of houses that have had bellies and not have backups. But sometimes I'll see moderate bellies, 5-10 feet long, and in the disclosure they talk about previous backups. A lot of that has to do with what you're putting down the line. If you are careful and you're not putting a bunch of wet wipes down the line, that can certainly help. But again, the only permanent fix is to dig it up and re-slope the line. Looks like this pipe has shifted slightly. We're transitioning to ABS, and so this is usually around the foundation, or right under it rather. Now you can see that the white pipe sits lower, which is certainly better than the opposite. Waste is going to drop into that line and not hit a lip where it's going to create a blockage. As long as that joint doesn't separate further, I don't think it would be a concern. And then this is ABS. One issue with ABS is that sometimes the glued joints can have a tendency of separating. Which underground doesn't matter, but in the house you also have ABS drains, and so it's a little more common with ABS at this age to have small leaks on those exposed drains, or unexposed. A lot of them are in the walls, and so I can see some of them in the mechanical room, but most of them are covered, and so we wouldn't know if it was having an issue until it turned into a bigger issue. But something to be aware of, which is why I bring it up. So to recap, you have a mix of ABS and PVC. You do have a little belly through the yard, and I call it a moderate belly. I did see some buildup and some waste, and then my camera was fully submerged for several feet. Far from the worst that I've seen, but also not ideal. And so you want to be careful what you put down the line. You could have it cleaned proactively. That would help prevent a backup. But again, the only way to permanently fix the belly is to dig it up and re-slope it. I would recommend the insurance here if you don't proactively fix the slope. You can get HomeServe, and it's not very expensive, but they can help clear the line if it does have an issue. We're going to end this recording now.